to use the basket reed to create these little things right here, what you're gonna do is you're just gonna basically take the basket reed like this and then cut it. And I have a pair of scissors right here. So what you're gonna do is you're going to just take it, whether it's around the body, like I'll do it around the leg over here next. Okay, so you just basically like find out how big you want it, and you really just cut it to what you need with a little extra so it can glue itself together. And then you're gonna cut it and then just glue it into space. Hot glue gun needs to be always set on what when you're ready to use it? Low. I don't want anyone crying in here, because let me tell you, it's no fun. Okay, put a little bit of hot glue right there, and then just wrap. Careful not to touch the hot glue, but you want to just kind of wrap it. Hold it. It's not instant. You got to hold it for probably about 10 seconds to really get it to hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And now I have that rounded shape here. Okay. It looks like I was trying to go here. It looks like, I don't know. That's just holding that together. So I probably would want to put another one there. And then I can start to stuff it with newspaper. Okay. Now, wire. Like, let's say I want to make a wire leg here, right? What I did was I have a wire leg here that I actually connected into the back. And what I did was, starting with this stuff is very hard to use wire. I guess if you're not wanting to watch this right now, you can watch it on your free time since I'm recording it. Okay, but if you wanted to use wire, I just wanted to go over this. How many of you want to use wire? Okay, so those of you that want to use wire, you know you're going to use wire, it would benefit you to watch this now. Okay, if not, I'll put it on Google Classroom. I'm happy to put it on. You can look at it at your, whenever you're ready for it. So when you are using the wire, you just need to unwrap it from the coil that you get. And then what I'll do is I'll cut approximately 2 feet of it to make a leg structure like this, a structure with a claw. Now you may have a different kind of structure, but what I like to do is actually kind of twist this wire in half like this. This could also be how you actually connect a tail. So if you wanted to create, this is how you would start a tail. You would just connect this into your structure like I did here. This tail was just kind of pushed into the structure and taped on the inside. Tape is better than glue for wire. Must stick onto something. How many of you are making a tail? Okay, so if you're making a tail, does that make sense to everyone? Okay, so then like let's say you wanted to make something more like a foot. What I'm gonna do here is I have it right here like this. So what I'm looking at is, this is kind of like the end here, which is like the end here. And then what I will do is twist this around itself. This wire is really difficult to maneuver, but it is stronger than the other flexible stuff. And so if you're doing something like a foot, you must use this type of wire to begin. And so what I did was I just twisted it around, and I kind of just twisted it around itself, and then I can kind of squeeze it to hold the shape with the needle nose pliers. I can squeeze it here, and then here I just need to wrap that around and back up, and then up and over. I made that look really easy, but now I have something that's sort of like a really rough idea of something that kind of can look like a claw. You could do something like this where you have just it kind of coming out like a foot, like a hoof, where it's just coming out in 2 sections as opposed to one, where it has like a front and a back. And then I just kind of bend that into position. Okay, so like let's say I'm ready now to, I'm not going to put it into my body yet. I'm going to wrap. I'm going to use this newspaper to bulk up the leg now. And I'm going to just basically wrap this around and around and around to create a bit of density. I can then tape that together. Of course, I don't have any tape here, but I'll just use the glue. I can just glue that into position. And then I'm ready to actually start to insert that into the actual frame of the piece. So this is where I want to actually insert this in here. So I can just kind of insert that there. Probably smarter to find a way to actually get that to attach all the way down and into the body. Here's another technique that you can use. You can use that sort of same looping technique where you bend the wire in half like that. So let's say you want to connect your leg. So we have this simple shape. I then made a little sleeve of newspaper here. What I want to do now is I want to actually make this connect inside of here, like so. I can actually take that sleeve off if I want to. I can kind of wrap this around, and this can give a little bit more structure going into the body. Now I have 3 points of contact that I can actually bring up and inside of the body, especially like this really long piece right here. And so what I can do is I can literally just kind of poke into the frame of the structure and stick that in where that belongs. Make sure I have the newspaper. Oh, I should have put the newspaper on. Get that newspaper on first. It's really not that complicated, but it is important for you to think about, like, you want that wire to go through the actual structure as much as you can to make it stronger. Like just doing a single wire that goes up into the body is probably not going to hold all the weight of that structure that we're working on. Okay, so I definitely want to just wrap some tape around this. So I'm just going to get some tape there because the glue is not holding. But then I can just kind of stick this up and inside the structure. And I can even bring that wire down and connect it to one of these rings here. And then I can cut this part off. So does everybody get that idea? Everybody looking? If you're gonna have a foot that looks like a foot, you definitely want to have something that's got like kind of like a two-prong attachment to it. Then it's wrapped, you see how that is? And then it's wrapped in newspaper, fully taped, and then you shove it into your structure and connect it to the main frame somehow, right? So get that up and inside of it, and the more you can get that to like be strong and coming up and through and around, the stronger that's going to become. I can use my needle nose pliers to bend this into position, and that will actually serve as a foot that I can then start to like wrap and paper mache and build up a little bit more, but that's nice and strong now. Everybody understand? Okay, I'm gonna stop there.